Hey guys, this is Rachel from Tiramar Farms, and I am cleaning eggs right now. I've done about, let's see, 70 eggs-ish, around that. I've done 2 of the trays out of the crate, and then I had some in a basket as well. So we've got a lot over here, and out of that 70 or so, I had about 4 that were cracked. And it made me think about doing a little video here just really quickly, showing you how to tell if an egg is cracked, if it's kind of in doubt. So sometimes you'll have, for whatever reason, you'll get some cracked eggs. It just kind of happens. Sometimes the hens step on them wrong, or you jostle them when you're carrying them up to the house, either in your basket or if you put them in your pocket or something like that. They may get kind of jostled around and cracked. And sometimes it's really obvious. I have an egg over here to show you that's a really obvious crack. So let me get it here. Here we go. So that's an obvious crack. It has a dent in it. It's really obvious. As soon as you pick it up, you can see the shadow, you know it's cracked. But sometimes there can be eggs that can be a little bit deceiving. So let me find one of those for you. Okay, so like this egg, it's got some discolored spots, and so you may see those and think, well, this egg may be cracked, when actually it's not. It just has a little bit of discoloration, but it's not cracked. Let me see if I can get it to focus a little closer for you so you can see that. So that egg right there has a little bit of discoloration, but it's actually not cracked. And then you see a little discoloration on the egg next to it, but that's water where it's drying off, so that egg wasn't cracked either. And so this one has a little bit of discoloration, and sometimes they'll get stained too. Let me find a white one. The white ones are really bad about this. This egg has been cleaned with peroxide water, and I rubbed it a little bit to try to get most of the stain off. But what happens with these white eggs, if there's mud, mud gets on the chicken's feet, or sometimes they poop on them. It just kind of happens sometimes. Not too often, because we keep the nesting box area clean with fresh straw to help catch any mud that they may be tracking in. But when it's been really muddy for a few days, they may have mud on their feet, and sometimes it gets on the eggs, or like I said, they may poop on them because, to a chicken it doesn't matter. You'll never see that on store-bought eggs, because most of the time those eggs that you get from the store, the hens are in a cage. The cage has a wire bottom. The poop falls through the bottom of the cage, and when the hen lays an egg, it's a tapered cage, so the egg rolls to the back of the cage and then goes out a slot into the back to another tapered thing that lets it roll down to wherever they're keeping the eggs. So that's why you never see stained store-bought eggs, but I usually don't ever sell any that are stained like this, just because it's not pretty, and a lot of people, especially if they're used to the store-bought eggs that are always pristine, they see that and they're kind of freaked out about it. So we don't sell those. But what I wanted to show you is how to tell when an egg is cracked when it's not very obvious. So this egg here, this is a cracked egg. Let me get it to focus on it for you. So this egg is cracked, and it's not super obvious. There's no egg coming out of it. There's no dent. But it's obvious because of the webbing here. So when you see that it looks like a spider web, it's kind of circular and then it's got lines coming out of it, that's a really good indication that the egg is cracked because of the webbing pattern. And then if you squeeze the egg, you can see the crack expand. And that is the trick when, let me find my other egg that had a little crack. When you're not sure. Oh, so this egg is a really great example. Let me get it to focus on it. There we go. So this egg, at first glance, it just looks discolored. It just looks like it has a color spot, just like the other brown egg, like this one. You set them next to each other, let the camera focus on them, and they both just kind of look like they have a few discolored spots, which is normal. So how do we know that this egg is cracked? The trick is to squeeze it, and then the crack becomes very, very obvious. This was a great example. You just squeeze very gently, and you'll see that crack expand. It doesn't take much pressure at all, but it's a dead giveaway when you squeeze it just a little and you'll see the crack. So that is how you can test an egg if you're in a little bit of doubt. Let me put that back there and show you what happens when we squeeze this one. Now don't squeeze too hard or you'll make a crack where there isn't one. Oh, okay. Or you can accidentally do this to it when you're trying to test it. But this one, same kind of discoloration, but squeezing it doesn't reveal any cracks because this egg is not cracked and this one is. So that's a really good way to test your eggs if you ever have one you think may be cracked and you're not sure. Just give it a little squeeze, not too hard or you'll break it in your hands, which I've done. But just give it a little squeeze and you'll be good to go. You'll know if it's cracked already or not.